While millions of fans across the world celebrate Sony and PlayStation's showcase, it's been nearly 2 years since we've had one, by the way. There are some industry insiders and some other people that are saying that Sony and PlayStation was holding back from showing us everything they got in store, including a game that's going to be released in July, and we haven't even seen gameplay of it. I got all of that and more coming up, so you don't want to miss a single thing. Watch until the entire end. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? MonkeyFlop here, and let's just go ahead and dive right into it. Now, there are so many articles out there about Sony holding back with PlayStation Showcase. They didn't show us everything. I first want to actually start off and go through some of the top games that were released or at least shown off during this time. So, I'm actually on GameSpot's website. They put together this list that we're seeing here today. PlayStation Showcase May 2023, the biggest games and announcements. Now, we are going to be getting into Sony not giving us all the information and kind of holding back on some stuff in just a minute, but let's go over this list and see what were some of the highlights of the show. So, we got Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater reveal. I was a fan of Metal Gear Solid. I still have the first Metal Gear Solid on PlayStation 1 on a disc right behind me. I absolutely love Metal Gear Solid, but, you know, it's Konami. How do we still feel about Konami? Let me know in those comments down below. I'm kind of curious what you think about this. I thought it was pretty cool, but at the same time, Konami without Kojima. Oh, Spider-Man 2, which a lot of people are saying, okay, yeah, but there was a lot of CGI in this. What was your thoughts on Marvel's Spider-Man 2? I honestly love Spider-Man. Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man from PS4. Then we had Miles Morales. Both of those games were rock solid. They were amazing. Spider-Man 2 looks amazing as well. I can't wait to dive right into it. We got Assassin's Creed as well. This one looks amazing. I can't wait to dive right into this one too. This one looks pretty freaking cool. We talked about Far Games a while back. That has been announced. We get Helldivers 2, which it used to be a top-down shooter. And now they changed it to a third-person shooter, and it looks absolutely amazing. It still has the same enemies, and it still has the same bosses and stuff. And you are on a starship. Your troopers. It's still really cool and really nerdy, but they turned it into a third-person shooter, and I'm kind of curious how that's gonna go. I definitely want to give it a shot, give it a go, because I am a Helldivers fan. I love the original one. Now I'm gonna just browse through this really quickly because I don't want this part of the video going on too long. We also did get an announcement for Project Q. It's a PS5 companion handheld. We've been talking about this for a while now. Unfortunately, it is not going to be a Vita 2, which I actually have my Vita right here, baby. This is my baby. This is my baby. But it's not going to be a Vita 2. We're going to talk more about the PS5 companion handheld in a video later on. But let's actually dive into this because this is the reason why we're here. I did want to show you what some of the highlights were. The show was over an hour long, which is massive for a PlayStation Showcase. I mean, we've seen it in the past, but it's kind of hard to fathom, especially because it's been over almost. I was about to say over almost 2 years since the last PlayStation Showcase. But let's go ahead and talk about it because, Games Rant is the website I'm on right now. And a rumor, Sony was holding back with PlayStation Showcase. Multiple industry insiders claiming that Sony was holding back with PlayStation Showcase following a mixed response to the event. So, there was a mixed response during the event. I saw a lot of fans very excited for it. There were some people, and there's always going to be people that are not digging the content, and that's totally cool. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. Multiple industry insiders have reported that Sony was holding back with the latest edition of its PlayStation Showcase. Their claims emerged online following the mixed response to the event, which saw the gameplay reveal of Marvel's Spider-Man 2, fan freaking tastic, but was criticized for otherwise lacking in first-party title exclusive, amongst other things. Now, I'm not going to read this entire thing. I definitely recommend you guys go and read everything for yourself. I will link it to you guys in the video description down below. What are you doing, Gamer? I was gonna link and then you spam it. But they did kind of emphasize that, the snitch, an industry insider, stated that another PlayStation PC port is currently slated to release in July, adding that it's super weird this game wasn't presented at May 24th's event. Now, again, I'm not going to go over the entire thing, but that is basically it. A lot of people are saying that Sony PlayStation was holding back. A lot of people are saying that Sony PlayStation didn't show a lot of what they get working on. They're holding on to more. And, Sony's typical cycle and Sony's reputation is they usually like to advertise games for a long period of time. So they're normally not the kind of, especially when it comes to video game developing, they're not the typical kind of developers that they'll just like drop a banger and just be like, hey, it's released. No, they usually start off slowly, teasing the games, a CGI trailer here, a gameplay trailer there, some more promotional material, billboards, all the shebang, and that usually goes on for months. They're not usually the type that will just release something just instantaneously, like boom, there it is. No, they want a lot of eyeballs on it before they release something. So there are probably a lot of games, in my personal opinion, that are still in the works and they don't have a release date for yet. Heck, we didn't get a lot of release dates, which a lot of people thought we were gonna get, but as of right now, there are not that many release dates. So Sony and PlayStation is working on a lot of really cool stuff, and a lot of really cool stuff that we're going to be seeing in the next couple of months. But this is the first PlayStation showcase that they've had in a long time. I do agree it was on the verge of lackluster. I mean, there was a lot of cool trailers and stuff, but if you think about Sony and PlayStation and like first party titles, I definitely agree. I mean, I'm going to pass the question off to you. Out of Sony and PlayStation Showcase, how many first party exclusive titles did you see get announced or at least shown off during Sony and PlayStation Showcase? Let me know in those comments down below, because I know the answer, but I'm passing the question off to you. It's kind of wild, I really do wish we would have seen more gameplay. I wish we would have seen more release dates, and of course, if they had release dates, they would let us know. If they had the gameplay ready to show off and not just a CGI trailer, then they would. The past couple of years, it's been crazy because a lot of people are talking about crunch and game developers working overtime just to meet their deadlines, not seeing family for almost an entire year, working literally 20 hours a day, barely getting any sleep. So crunch and working overtime and working these game developers to the bone, it has been a big issue for a long time. So anytime we don't get a release date, or anytime we don't get a gameplay trailer because it's not ready yet, I'm okay with it. I can wait. These game developers are pouring their heart and soul into it, and when you run them into the ground, they end up losing their passion. So let them keep their passion, let them continue grinding, let them pour their heart and soul into it, but don't rush them. That's just all I'm saying. But I really do wish Sony and PlayStation would have had a more exciting PlayStation showcase, considering they're not going to events. Like E3 is not even a thing anymore, but they weren't going to E3 anymore. PlayStation Showcase was what they were doing to show off the latest and greatest in PlayStation technology, whether it being PlayStation VR 2. Who's talking about that anymore? Or the new handheld that they're coming out with, or first party titles. But hey, again, I'm going to pass the question off to you. What are your thoughts and opinions about it? Let me know in those comments down below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next news update. You guys are freaking awesome.